Hello beautiful people, let's get started with today's look. Off camera, I primed my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Original, and for my face I used a Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Face Primer. Starting off with using the Juvia's Place I Prep I Prime Eye Primer, and this is in shade number 2. I'm going to be shaking up the product first because the product can separate, and then I'm going to put 2 small dots on the eyes. Not gonna lie, I went back in and ended up adding more because for today's look and the colors we're going to be using, I really needed a good base. So I'm focusing most of it on the lid space, and then when I get around the crease area, I'll use lighter tapping motions to help diffuse out that area. I'm grabbing my translucent powder from KVD and I'm gonna go ahead and set the entire eyelid. This just helps with blending eyeshadows out on top. Now for star of the show, the Sugarpill Fun Size 2 palette. I'm going to be picking up the shade Grind and focusing this in the crease and the outer portion of the lid, just being super patient with building the shade up. I'm tapering it as it goes into the inner corner of the lid space, and then on the outer corner, that's where I'm going to really wing and flare it out. After that, I'm picking up the shade Button Mash, so I'm putting it in the same area, just a little bit closer and in the crease this time, but just making sure I'm building up that shade, keeping it more winged out on the outer portion of the lid, and keeping it thinner the closer we get to the inner tear duct area. I did also go in with my previous brush after this, just to help blend out those colors. Didn't have to really pick up any more eyeshadow, just blending it out as smoothly as possible. Picking up the shade Power Up, I'm going to be focusing this first on the middle of the lid and then bringing it into the inner corner, leaving a little bit of a space on the outer portion for another shade. Which is going to be Grind, so I'm putting that in between Button Mash and Power Up on the lid, just creating a really nice transition between those shades. With my Amrezy palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, I'm picking up the shade New Yorker, and I'm using this because it's close to my complexion, and I'm using this to blend out all the areas where I had a white cast from the eye primer or eye base from before. With my Crayon Case Line Me eyeliner, I'm going to be doing my wing liner today. So first time using this product, and I really like the brush applicator on it. The only thing is that I wish that it dried down to more of a richer black. It's kind of like a almost off black, not super gray, but still a deep, but not that deep black, if that makes sense. But I still really liked using this product for the first time. And now I'm going in with my makeup remover wipe, cleaning up the outer portion of the lid, going in with my color corrector now on all the areas of my face where I have hyperpigmentation. With a damp beauty blender, so it's damp with water, I'm just going to blend out that product. Using my KVD translucent powder, I'm going to set all the areas where I just apply the color corrector. I'm doing this so it helps with not altering my foundation once I put that on top. For foundation, of course my favorite, Juvia's Place I Am Magic Foundation in 205 or Tanzania. I'm putting small dots all over the face because a little goes a long way, and then after that I'm going in with a damp beauty blender and blending it out. Again, damp with water. With my Oma Beauty Double Take Duo Stick, I'm going in with shade number 3 and using this to apply my contour. And for concealer, of course, the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer in the shade number 9. For those of you where it may be your first time watching my video, I do like to let my concealer dry down before I blend it out. The amount of time that's needed for it to dry down will depend on kind of like the temperature. I know that when it's warmer outside, it kind of takes longer to dry down, but when it's cooler, not as much time. I hope I'm getting that right, because as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait, is that how the way it works, or is it opposite? Anyway, usually like around 7 minutes or so, I let my concealer dry down, and then after that, I'll blend out my contour first, then my concealer. And for underneath the cheekbone area, I like to use the excess concealer on the Beauty Blender to just help accentuate that area. It's something very subtle, but it just helps, you know, make the cheekbones cheekbone, you know? To blend out my nose contour and also around the areas like around my edges, I go in with a smaller beauty blender just to help diffuse out that area, but also still keep it concentrated to that specific area where I put it. To set the highlighted areas, I'm going in with my KVD translucent powder and my crayon case chalk dust in the letter N. I like to mix these two, and I use a damp beauty blender to press everything into the highlighted areas. To set everywhere else, I'm going in with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Dark Deep. With this product, I'm just focusing on pressing everything into the skin. Around the bottom of my face is where I'll buff because, girl, I don't want no harsh edges. But other than that, I just like to press everything into the skin. And then for the nose contour, I like to use a bigger eyeshadow brush just to help accentuate and bring back that nose contour. Now I'm grabbing my colored Raine Naughty Spice bronzer, and I'm using this to add more depth to my contour. This is super subtle, which is what I like about it. I like to use a light hand with the application, so it's not too harsh of a accentuation, you know, it's just a little oomph, a little something, you know, a little yes sir. Going in with my setting spray, I'm going to fan off for a little bit and then use a beauty blender to press everything into the skin, just making sure all those products just, you know, come together and have a little happy marriage of yes on my face, you know, just yes. It's doing what it needs to do. Yes. Off camera, I did my brows, but I used the eyebrow pomade from the crayon case in dark brown. Now I'm going back into my Juvia's Place eye primer and I'm applying a little bit on the lower lash line, and I'm using just the side of my finger to help keep it concentrated on the lower lash line and to help blend out that area. Of course, again, setting it. Back into the Fun Size 2 palette, I'm picking up the shade Final Boss and focusing this on the lower lash line, the outer 2/3, just really packing that shade on, not swiping that much, maybe a little bit when I get a little bit farther away from the lash line, but just doing my best to pack that shade on. Next, I'm picking up the shade Elixir. I'm going to be putting that in the remainder area closer towards the inner tear duct of the lower lash line. Now I'm grabbing my Melt Cosmetics eyeliner in the shade Porcelina, and I'm going to be putting it in my waterline. Quick heads up, as I always tell you guys, this shade has a little bit of shimmer in it, so just letting you guys know, I thought it was matte. It's not. It has shimmer. It's not a problem, but I didn't expect it. You know what I mean? I didn't expect it. And now in my matte book palette from the crayon case, I'm picking up that white eyeshadow. I'm going to be applying that on top of the waterline. This just helps to set that area and to help it last longer. In the Amrezy palette, y'all know when I pick up this palette, I'm always picking up the shade New Yorker. So I'm picking up that shade and I'm using it to diffuse out the lower lash line just to help transition that shade in between my complexion and the color that I put down. With my Badass Cosmetics UV Pastel water activated liners, I'm picking up the shade Aqua, and I'm going to be focusing this on the outer portion of the lid, just creating that wing. Y'all see me doing it? There it is. It's happening. It's happening. Then I'm picking up the shade Sunny and I'm focusing this on top of the black liner. I'm starting first kind of like in the middle section. I'm just going to help, you know, just help the liner have a little graphic moment, just winging it out, connecting it to that blue, doing something kind of graphic, you know? Picking up my Crankcase Line Me eyeliner again. I'm just using this to touch up the areas where that yellow may have gotten a little bit too thick, and I'm just gonna correct that area. Moving to the face, I'm picking up my Saharan blush palette from Juvia's Place, picking up the shade Tau, and I'm gonna apply my blush. And I'm just gonna pinch my brush and use it to apply it on the nose. So I want to do kind of like that kind of cartoonish blushed look on the face. So if you guys see, I'm focusing it right there in the middle section of my nose. And then also you guys will see me in a few just like bring it down to that front portion of the cheeks. So I'm just, you know, building that blush up. So you guys see me focusing it right there in that area, just kind of creating a little W on the face, you know? And then I'm grabbing my Color Raine Power Collection Highlight and Blush Duo and Damage Control. I'm dipping into this for the highlight and applying my highlight to all the areas where I want to highlight on my face. From Melt Cosmetics, grabbing my usual lip liner in the shade Edible. Then I'm grabbing the shade On The Go, once again from Melt Cosmetics. And from Milani, I'm grabbing this lip gloss, and it's in the shade Let's Bone. Guys, I don't make the names. I just tell you what it is, alright? But anyway, this gloss has a beautiful pink shimmer in it, and it's just, I don't know, it's the way it looks on the lips. I'm like, yes, yes, girl, like this is what yes, yes, yes. To finish this look off, I'm going in with my setting spray, setting the face, fanning off for a bit, and pressing everything into the skin with my beauty blender. And here is a completed look. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Bless up, and until next time, sending out much peace, love, and enlightenment. Bye, guys.